I want to rewire this switch for my Delta Shopmaster 10-inch saw. The problem is that I've got this new fence on that is just a little bit too deep for this. I bought this black Surpac 173 project case, and all it is just plastic. And I'll transfer all the components in here and do any extensions that are necessary. One thing I'll have to do is line up the hole here with the wires coming through there and make sure that I've got an area for the ground to go into. So first thing to do with these is to take off these wire nuts now that I've taken a picture of the configuration on all this. Needless to say, I'm going to need both hands, so I'm going to set this down and then come back after I've disassembled this from the actual table saw. I'm going to use this hacksaw to cut out the power cable. So that's what was holding it in place. And it looks like it pops apart. Holding the box up here, it looks like, in fact, there's a little notch right there. Seems to signify the center, and I'm going to use that as center point where I'm going to drill. From the top of where I want to place this, I'm looking at about 1 3/8, and then it is a 5/8 hole, so I'll just figure 3/4 inch and it'll fit fine. I've got a little X there for the pilot hole. And then I'm going to use this beautifully old rusty drill bit and drill out the area I need to be in. This is where I pulled the ground out of it. I mean, obviously it even has like a green ground symbol. So all I'm going to do is put a little tick mark over here on the side, feed this stuff back through, put it in place, and then just do a corresponding tick mark on the case itself. And then I'll measure it in, do a pilot hole, switch it out, and then do a 3/4 inch. I just want to have plenty of room whenever I'm doing the grounding on it. Let's see how that area for the ground turned out. There's plenty of room for the ground. There's no problems with clearance over here, and this sticks out enough that I won't hit my hand. I'm just going to play with this configuration a little bit, see if I can get it to work, and then start mounting pieces in. There's already a kink in this where it was compressed before, and so this little tab right there was probably attached at one time before I ripped it right out. But let's see if I can get it working with this. There we go. Nice. You know, now that I've messed around with this a little bit and seen how this sits in here, I'm going to keep it dead center widthwise, but then I'm going to come down 3 3/4 of an inch. I can move these wires around either there or sit them on top over here. Let's do 1 1/2 from the bottom and 1 1/4 from this outside edge. I'm going to mark it up, drill it, and then put the switches in to see how they look. Yeah, I think that's going to be cool. I'll tighten these up once everything else is in place. This screw up here is too much of a pain, so I'm going to mount this thing with 3 screws and I'm going to call it good with that. I've got the one down here. I've got a drill bit that's slightly smaller than the thread, and this is positioned with the edge. I'm just using this edge over here as my guide for being straight. Cool. That's actually pretty solid on there. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up that third one and continue wiring it up. I'm gonna install the ground with a slightly bigger screw. The other one was too loose and I actually had to force it out, so it really wasn't seated in there. Alright, cool, so moment of truth. So I'm launching a rocket every time I turn the table saw on.